Hi, it's the Roach with the Roshia. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below. Um, so the hot news right now is the impeachment of Joe Biden. Um, it's looking like it's going to start progressing towards that. Kevin McCarthy announced that he is going to start impeachment proceedings. Well, not actually, just he's going to start. Um, he's going to start an investigation into whether impeachment is necessary. Um, and it looks like the Democrats are pretty much panicked about this. They're worried. And so they're all coming out and they're all saying, hey, guess what? He's getting impeached for nothing. But anybody that has been watching at all knows that there is actually an awful lot of evidence that points towards the fact that Biden sold his office as vice president and that he is still currently in the pockets of foreign countries. So I think that there is pretty much a pretty legitimate reason to be looking into President Biden as for impeachment. There's definitely evidence that needs to be investigated at the very least. And so starting an investigation is absolutely necessary. Although I think that there's actually enough evidence that we could probably start the proceedings already. Um, Whether he gets impeached or not, I'm not too worried about it. I think that he will probably get impeached in the House, and then it will fail in the Senate. That's the most likely scenario anyway. Um, so even if they do decide to actually take him to impeachment, it's just really a symbolic gesture, really, in the way. It's just basically saying, you know what, this guy did some bad things. He he's really not going to suffer any consequences for it. But I think that Hunter Biden might actually have to suffer some consequences because he was basically the runner man to getting the money for Joe Biden and and a lot of the family members of the Biden family. So he actually would go and get set up in a country, and then he would sell the influence of Joe Biden, who was vice president at the time. Oh, and other offices as well. I'm sure that that Hunter was selling whatever office his dad was in for a long time, and um, so, but and Hunter was doing it because he needed to feed his habits, and so he needed that money in order to feed his habits. But anyway, so I do think that the impeachment inquiry or investigation is important. I think that it is something that should be done. It has legitimate reasons as to why it would be done. Um, do I think anything's really going to come of it? No. Well, as far as do I think Biden's going to get impeached? No. Um, do I think something will come from the investigation? There are a few different things that will come from the investigation. One, it will be found that there's enough evidence in order to impeach Biden. That I'm fairly certain of because the evidence is obviously there. And when you go to a majority Republican committee making this doing this investigation and making the decision as to whether impeachment is necessary, I'm fairly certain that they're going to basically say yes. And so then that means that impeachment will be put on the table at the House. It will go through the House. And this is a slow process. So it may be that we're getting really close to the election by the time this impeachment actually goes through, which I think is so. Will it interfere with the election? That's one of the big problems there. Is will it interfere with the election? Well, I don't really think so. but you know, it can't really hurt. Um, if it does hurt, it's going to hurt Biden. I don't think that it can help him simply because in a lot of ways it will be pointing out a lot of the evidence against him, and it will be pushing that out to the public, so that the public will be able to say, hey, here's some evidence. um, and there's enough evidence there because I've been looking into this. I've watched it unfold, and there is plenty of evidence to take a look at. So I think that Biden will get impeached in the House. I think that that will happen before the election, and I don't think that it's going to really do much to sway people one way or the other. The Democrats that are favorable towards Biden, which doesn't seem to be very many, um, but maybe even more than 50% are favorable towards him, or at least somewhat favorable towards him. Maybe. Um, I think that a lot of the Democrats that are deeply entrenched in the Democrat Party, and also those that aren't paying attention, aren't really going to care. Then there's going to be a larger group. There's going to be some that are going to actually see it, and they're going to actually understand, yes, there is actually evidence. And then there's going to be some that are going to listen to all the people saying, "Oh, there's no evidence. There's absolutely no evidence," and they're just going to believe that, and they're just going to walk away from it. Um, and then they're also saying that it's politically motivated, and so that's what they're going to. So those that just believe that, oh, it's politically motivated, and there is no evidence, those people, those people will probably go. Those people probably decide to vote for Biden. So I think that it will have some effect on the election, but I think net effect is really not going to be much, if any at all. When it all boils down to it, nobody really likes Joe Biden anyway. Um, he has a very low favorability rate, and his favorability rate is not improving. So, anyways, this is the Roach with Ferocia, and that's my take on the impeachment inquiry or investigation that has been uh, started. So, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below. Thank you, and see you next time.